Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has landed in India, becoming the first foreign head of state to arrive for the G20 summit. But his very position as state head is in jeopardy back home. A Nigerian appeals court is set to rule on the opposition's move to overturn President Bola Tinubu's recent election victory. The 5-judge Ambuja court has been deliberating on a bunch of lawsuits from the opposition, and this has been happening since a number of months. The opposition PDP and Labour parties are calling for the results of the February election to be nullified. They are further calling for their candidates to be declared the winner of the court to order a rerun of the voting. Former Lagos Governor Tinubu won 37% of the votes in the February 25th vote. However, any decision made by the appeals court is unlikely to be the final stage of this drama because both parties can appeal to the Supreme Court for a final verdict. Election results have repeatedly been challenged in Nigeria. However, no court has overturned a presidential vote since Nigeria returned to democracy from military rule in 1999. Now, Bola Tinubu, who took over as Nigeria's president at the end of May, has introduced reforms that the government says will help put Africa's largest economy back on track. Nigerians are already struggling with rising cost of living. The government recently ended a fuel subsidy program that kept petrol prices low and freed up the Naira currency. All right, for more on this, we're being joined by our correspondent Louisa, live from Lagos in Nigeria, over the phone line. Louisa, help us understand what happens if the court rules against Tinubu. Will he return from India midway?
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, it is worthy to note that the 2020 elections has been described as one of the most controversial elections in the country since it returned to civilian rule. However, it is not the first time we see opposition parties contesting election results in the country. But like you said in your introduction, we've never seen had one election being overturned. But this is one of a kind electoral dispute with peculiar constitutional components. Hence, it has become a matter of great public interest. But whether or not he's going to leave India midway or what's going to happen, the president seems not perturbed about the ball surrounding the verdict, which, of course, will be taking place today, as it's quite obvious that it's going to be done in his absence, as it's in India, like you said. But either way, whether the judgment is in favor of President Tinubu or not, lawyers have said that it is not the end of the road, as there will be, cases or chances of going to the Supreme Court to appeal the elections. Either way it falls into.
Louisa, now it's been just a few months since Tinubu took over, and as you mentioned that it was a very, very controversial election. But even since then, his tenure so far has been marred with controversy after controversy. Talk to us about how it's been for him at the seat of power in Nigeria.
Well, part of the controversies that have also trailed the tribunal cases has been months of in and out of court, from the drug case issue, the alleged drug case issue, the certificate forgery and all of that. And, countrywide, having to come into the office the first day and scrapping out subsidy, throwing the country into economic turmoil and all of that, and now trying to salvage the situation by some palliatives that some people feel might not really go around, and some of the corrupt practices that some of the institutions in Nigeria are known for might not allow these palliatives to get to the poorest of the poor that so need them. So these are some of the things why the country seems to that looks up to him for greater reforms and a bit of succor after the President Muhammadu Buhari's regime, and we're still seeing that happening. It's 100 days in office. Some analysts have said it's quite too early to give him a scorecard, but again, the controversies are still there, and either way, Nigerians are hopeful for a better future and are calling for the President Tinubu-led administration to do the needful to ameliorate the poverty and the hunger that are stricken Nigerians, today.
Thank you for all those updates, Louisa. That was our correspondent Louisa joining us from Lagos in Nigeria. And of course, the Nigerian head of state is right here in the Indian capital, and India is, of course, happy to have him here. We'll keep you updated with all the updates coming in from Nigeria.